Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Emma.
I'm Henry, and today, I'm just going to say it. I lost my best friend.
Wait, what?
Not like he didn't die. He moved to another country 2 years ago. And we said all the things you say. We'll call every week. Nothing will change. Distance doesn't matter. And at first, we did. We called, we texted, we sent each other stupid memes at 2 a.m. And then the calls got shorter, and the texts got slower, and the memes stopped. And now we're basically social media acquaintances.
That word, acquaintances, is brutal when you're talking about someone who used to be your best friend.
It is brutal. Because this is the same person I used to call when something went wrong. The same person who knew my order at every restaurant. Who could finish my sentences. Who I once drove 4 hours to visit because he texted, "I'm having a bad day." 4 hours. No hesitation. And now? Now I liked his birthday post 2 weeks late and felt guilty about it for a day and then forgot.
And that slow fade, is what we're talking about today. Not the dramatic friendship breakups, not the fights, not the betrayals, the quiet ones, where nobody did anything wrong, where life just drifted.
This is a B1 to B2 conversation. Modern English for a feeling that's surprisingly hard to describe.
So here's what nobody tells you about losing a friend to distance. There's no funeral. There's no breakup conversation. There's no clear ending. It just fades, like a photo left in the sun.
A writer on Medium described it perfectly. He said, "There's no funeral for a friendship that fades, no community of support. People don't ask, 'How are you holding up after losing your best friend?' when the loss is so subtle you can barely describe it."
And that's what makes it so lonely. Because you're grieving something that nobody else recognizes as a loss. If you break up with a partner, people understand. They bring you ice cream. They let you cry. But if you lose a best friend to distance, people say, "Oh, you just grew apart." Like it's nothing.
Grew apart. Those two words carry so much weight. We just grew apart. As if it's casual. As if it doesn't keep you up at night scrolling through old photos thinking, "Where did we go?"
And can I tell you something that I've never said out loud?
Yeah?
I have a friend. Had a friend. We were close for 8 years. We used to talk every single day. Not about big stuff, just, "Look at this weird cloud," or, "My coworker said the dumbest thing," or, "Do you think fish get thirsty?" Just stupid, meaningless, beautiful, daily nonsense.
Do fish get thirsty?
That's not the point, Henry.
Sorry. Go on.
She moved to Canada for a job, and we swore, pinky swore, like children, that nothing would change. And for the first 3 months, it didn't. We called every Sunday. Long calls. 2 hours sometimes. We'd watch the same movie on Netflix at the same time and text through it. It was almost normal.
Almost.
Almost. And then one Sunday she said, "Can we do next Sunday instead? I have a thing." And I said, "Sure." And next Sunday became the Sunday after. And then the calls moved to every other week. And then once a month, and then... I can't remember the last time we talked. I actually can't remember. And that's the part that scares me. Not the silence. The fact that I can't pinpoint when the silence started.
Because it didn't start. It crept. Like fog.
Like fog. You don't see fog arrive. You just look up one day and realize, I can't see the road anymore. Where did we go? And the word for this, the actual English word, is drift. We drifted apart. Drift means to move slowly without direction, like a boat that's not anchored. You don't choose to drift, it just happens, quietly, while you're busy with life.
And the thing about friendship fog is, by the time you notice it, it's thick. You can't just blow it away with one text. One, "Hey, how are you?" doesn't undo 18 months of silence. The fog took months to build. It'll take more than a message to clear it.
But some people try. And honestly, that takes guts. Reaching out after a long silence is terrifying because you don't know what you'll get back. Maybe they'll be happy to hear from you. Or maybe they'll leave you on read. And being left on read by someone who used to reply in seconds, that's its own special hell.
Left on read. For the learners, that means they saw your message and didn't respond. The blue checkmarks of doom.
The blue checkmarks of doom. Yeah. Those checkmarks have ended more friendships than any argument.
I didn't realize we were drifting until it was too late. The drifting happened so slowly I didn't notice. Those sentences are heartbreakingly common.
Quick, like and subscribe if this is hitting. And today's challenge? I'm your name, from your country. And the friend I drifted apart from is even just their first name. That's real practice and real honesty.
Stay for word replay. Can we talk about how it actually happens? Because the drifting doesn't start with silence. It starts with small changes.
Like what?
Like, you used to text each other every day, then every other day, then twice a week, then once a week. Then you realize, wait, when did I last text them? And you check, and it was 3 weeks ago. And neither of you noticed the gap.
And neither of you addresses it. Because what do you say? Hey, I noticed we're talking less. That feels weird. That feels needy. So you don't say it. And the gap gets wider.
And then the inside jokes stop working. You reference something from 2 years ago and they don't laugh the way they used to. Not because they forgot, but because they have new inside jokes now, with new people, in their new city, in their new life. And there's this thing that happens with time zones that nobody warns you about. When your friend is 8 hours ahead, there's a window, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, where you're both awake. And if you miss that window, another day passes in silence. And missing the window isn't dramatic, it's just Tuesday. You were cooking, they were sleeping, and another day of nothing.
And then one day you realize you haven't found the window in 3 weeks. Not because you don't care, because the window is just really small, and life is really big. And your friendship is trying to survive in a 2-hour crack between 2 different lives on 2 different continents.
A 2-hour crack. That's what long-distance friendship actually is, not the romantic movie version. Just 2 people trying to find the same 2 hours in different time zones and usually failing.
And that's the part that stings. It's not that they replaced you, it's that they continued, without you. And their life kept going, and your life kept going. And somewhere along the way, those 2 lives stopped overlapping.
Overlap. Our lives stopped overlapping. Overlap means to share common ground, common time, common experiences. When you live in the same city, your lives overlap naturally. Same restaurants, same weather, same traffic, same Tuesday.
But when one person moves, the overlap disappears. You don't share a Tuesday anymore. Their Tuesday is in another time zone, with other people. And your Tuesday is here, alone with the memory of what Tuesdays used to feel like.
Okay, that hit me harder than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
I read about this girl. She met her best friend at a writing camp. They were inseparable. 2 weeks of staying up late, sharing everything, making those promises that feel unbreakable when you're young. We'll be best friends forever. Distance doesn't matter. We're different.
Let me guess. Distance mattered.
Distance mattered. 3 years later, her friend sent her a message saying, "I guess we're at that stage now. It was silly to believe we could be long-distance best friends.
Ouch.
It was silly to believe." And the girl, the writer, she said that sentence felt like a failure, like their friendship had failed. But looking back years later, she realized it didn't fail. It ran its course, like a season. Winter doesn't fail because spring comes. It just ends.
That's okay. I don't know if I agree with that. Because a season doesn't have feelings. A season doesn't scroll through old texts and think, I miss this person.
Fair. That's a fair pushback. Maybe it's not a season. Maybe it's more like, okay, I'm gonna struggle with this metaphor. Maybe it's like a plant that needs a certain soil to grow. And when the soil changes, when you move, when life shifts, some plants can't survive the new conditions. Not because they're weak, because they were designed for that specific environment.
So some friendships only grow in proximity. And when the proximity ends, the friendship can't survive. Not because nobody cared, because the friendship needed shared space to breathe.
And there's no shame in that. Some friendships are meant for a chapter, not the whole book. But here's what I struggle with. Because people say some friendships are seasonal, and it's supposed to be comforting. But it's not. Because when you're in the friendship, when you're sharing everything, when you're finishing each other's sentences, when you're driving 4 hours because they had a bad day, you don't think this is seasonal. You think this is forever. And then forever turns out to be 3 years, or 5, or 8. And seasonal feels like a downgrade of something that felt permanent.
Yeah, I don't think calling it seasonal helps when you're in the grief. Maybe it helps later, after you've processed it. But in the moment you just miss your friend, and no amount of philosophical reframing changes that.
The grief is the grief, and it deserves space, not a platitude.
Platitude. Good word. A platitude is a phrase that's supposed to be comforting, but feels empty. Everything happens for a reason. Time heals all wounds. You'll make new friends. These are platitudes. And when you're grieving a friendship, platitudes feel like someone patting you on the head and walking away.
I felt dismissed when she said I'd make new friends. Because I don't want new friends. I want that friend. The one who knew what I meant when I said, you know, who didn't need context, who was the context.
A chapter, not the whole book. I want to fight that sentence because it hurts, but I think it's true. Can I tell you a story I read that absolutely wrecked me?
Go.
A woman wrote about reaching out to an old friend after years of silence. She'd moved away, gotten into a bad relationship, went through COVID, had anxiety. Life just swallowed her. And after a few years, she finally reached out. She wrote this long email saying, I miss you, I'm sorry, I want to reconnect.
And?
Her friend wrote back saying, basically, I felt hurt by the distance you created, and I don't want to be friends again. And the woman said she sobbed on vacation, literally on vacation, and called another friend at like 4 a.m., crying and asking, am I a terrible friend?
God, that's because she wasn't a terrible friend. She was a struggling person. And sometimes struggling people disappear. Not because they don't care, because they're drowning and they can't reach out to anyone.
But from the other person's perspective, the one who was left, it feels like abandonment. You disappeared. You stopped trying. I waited and you never came back. And that hurt is real too.
So both people are hurt. Both people have a valid experience. And neither person is the villain. That's the cruelty of drifting apart. Nobody's wrong, and it still destroys the friendship.
Nobody's wrong, and it still destroys the friendship. That might be the saddest sentence I've ever said on this podcast.
And there's another version of this that I think is even harder. When the friendship doesn't fade. When it explodes.
You mean a friendship breakup?
Yeah, a real one. With a fight. With words you can't take back. With silence that's not accidental. It's chosen.
I read about a woman whose best friend of 17 years just stopped talking to her. No fight, no explanation, just silence. One day, they were best friends. The next day, nothing. And the woman wrote, "I guess we grew up, but our friendship didn't. It was like a slow burn realization followed by a long period of denial."
A slow burn realization followed by denial. Yeah. Because you don't want to believe it's over. So you keep making excuses. She's just busy. He's going through something. They'll reach out eventually. And you wait. And wait. And the waiting becomes the new normal. And one day you realize you're not waiting anymore. You've accepted it. And you didn't even notice the acceptance happening.
And that acceptance is its own kind of grief. Because hope died somewhere in the waiting. And you didn't get to say goodbye to the hope either. And if you're thinking about someone right now, a specific person, a specific face, you're not alone. Everyone listening is thinking about someone. This topic is universal. It crosses every language, every culture, every country. And the fact that you can feel this in English means your emotional English is deeper than you realize.
Words like drifted, overlapping, grief, faded, abandoned. These aren't easy words, and you're processing them in real time. That's not B1 anymore. That's your brain working at a level that most courses never teach.
Yeah, I don't think calling it seasonal helps when you're in the grief. Maybe it helps later, after you've processed it, but in the moment you just miss your friend. And no amount of philosophical reframing changes that.
And here's what makes this worse in 2026 compared to any other time in history.
Social media.
Social media. Because in the old days, before Instagram, before Facebook, when a friend moved away, they were gone. You missed them, but the missing was clean. You didn't see their life continuing without you.
But now you watch it happen in real time. They post photos with their new friends, at their new bar, in their new city, laughing at inside jokes you'll never understand. And you're sitting on your couch, watching their life unfold like a movie you're not invited to.
You're in the audience of a life you used to be the co-star of.
Henry, yeah. Audience of a life you used to co-star in. That's exactly what it feels like.
And there's a specific moment that destroys me every time. When you see them post a photo with someone else and the caption says, "My person," or "My ride or die," or "Best friend forever," and you think, that used to be me. I was the person. I was the ride or die. When did I get replaced?
But you weren't replaced. I need to push back on that. You weren't replaced. They just added someone new. Their life expanded, and your spot didn't shrink. It just became one of many spots.
But it used to be the only spot. And being one of many when you used to be the only one, that's a demotion you never applied for.
A demotion you never applied for. That's painfully accurate.
And the English for this? I feel like I've been replaced.
It stings seeing them with new friends. I know it's not personal, but it feels personal. All of these sentences are valid. All of them are honest. And all of them are hard to say without feeling petty.
They're not petty. They're human. Missing your position in someone's life isn't petty. It's love. A bruised, confused, left behind kind of love, but still love.
And the worst part? You can't stop watching. Because if you unfollow them, it feels like you're officially ending the friendship. So you keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting, "Miss you," with 2 exclamation marks. As if 2 exclamation marks can replace 2 years of silence.
And here's the thing about social media that nobody talks about. It creates an illusion of maintenance. You see their posts, you like them. They see your posts, they like them. And your brain thinks, we're still connected. We're still in each other's lives. But you're not. You're in each other's feeds. And feeds are not lives.
Feeds are not lives. Yeah. A feed is a highlight reel. A life is the 2 a.m. phone call when everything falls apart. And if you can't make that call anymore, if that person is no longer someone you'd call at 2 a.m., then you're not really friends. You're followers.
From friends to followers. That's the modern downgrade nobody asked for.
And the vocabulary for this, we stayed connected on social media, but we lost the real connection. We went from friends to followers. Social media gave me the illusion that we were still close.
Illusion. Something that looks real, but isn't. The daily likes created an illusion of closeness. That's a painful sentence to write in your journal, but it might be the most honest one.
Miss you, the most common lie on the internet.
Because if you really missed them, you'd call. Not comment, not react. Call.
Because if you really missed them, you'd call. Not comment, not react. Call.
And why don't we call?
Because calling is vulnerable. Commenting is safe. Calling says, I need you. Commenting says, I still exist. And existing is easier than needing. And Okay, this is something I've been thinking about. There's a specific kind of loneliness that comes from scrolling your old messages with someone.
Oh God, don't.
You've done it.
Of course I've done it. Everyone's done it. You scroll back to 2022 and the messages are constant. Every hour. Memes, voice notes. Look at this. Guess what? I can't believe he said that. And then you scroll forward. And the messages slow down. And slow down. And by 2024, it's just happy birthday and thanks. And by 2025, there's nothing.
And you can literally watch the friendship die in the scroll, message by message, gap by gap, until the screen is empty.
And you're standing at the bottom of that scroll thinking, we used to be so alive. What happened?
Life happened. That's the frustrating, unsatisfying, honest answer. Nobody decided to stop. Life just got in the way, and kept getting in the way, until the way was too wide to cross.
And the English for that? We lost touch. Lose touch means to stop communicating with someone gradually. I lost touch with my college friends. We lost touch after she moved.
And the painful version, I let us lose touch. Because sometimes it's not mutual. Sometimes you were the one who stopped calling. You were the one who got busy, and you carry that guilt.
I let a friendship die because I was too busy to send a text. That sentence takes courage to say, because it means the loss was at least partly your fault. And sitting with that is hard. Okay, so What do we actually do? Because this whole conversation has been kind of devastating, and I feel like people need something practical.
Here's what I've learned. And I'm not pretending I've solved this. I haven't. My best friend is still basically a stranger, and I hate it. But here's what I think helps.
1. Stop pretending it doesn't hurt. Name it. I lost a close friend, and I'm sad about it. That sentence is permission to grieve, because that's what this is. Grief. Quiet, invisible, unacknowledged grief.
2. If there's still a chance, reach out. Not hey in a group chat, a real personal message. I've been thinking about you and I miss our friendship. Can we talk? That's terrifying to send, but it's also the only thing that might work.
And 3. Accept that some friendships are seasonal, not permanent. And seasonal doesn't mean meaningless. That friend shaped you, changed you, made you who you are. And even if they're gone now, the version of you they helped build is still here.
You're walking around carrying pieces of every friendship you've ever had. Even the ones that ended. They're in your humor, your taste in music, your fears, your inside jokes that nobody else gets anymore. Those friends are still inside you, just differently.
Differently. Not gone. Differently present.
And maybe that's enough. Maybe carrying someone in your heart without carrying them in your phone is a kind of love too. A quieter kind, but still real.
And for English learners specifically, I want to say this. Some of you moved to a new country to learn English. And when you moved, you left friends behind. Friends who spoke your language, who knew your jokes, who understood you without effort. And now you're in a new place, making new friends, in a new language. And those old friendships are fading.
And that's a double loss. You lost the proximity, and you lost the language. Because even if you call your old friend, you call them in your native language. And your new life, your English life, is something they can't fully enter. They don't know your English-speaking friends. They don't understand your English-speaking jokes. They can't visit your English-speaking world.
So you end up living in two worlds, your old language world and your new language world. And the gap between them grows every day. And your old friend lives on one side, and your new life lives on the other. And you're standing in the middle, belonging fully to neither.
That's a very specific kind of loneliness. The bilingual loneliness, where you have friends in two languages, but nobody who fully exists in both. And there's one more thing about this. When you move to learn English, when you leave your country, your language, your people, the friendships you left behind become frozen in time.
What do you mean frozen?
Your old friends remember the version of you who left, the pre-English you, the you who made jokes in your native language, who shared cultural references, who was fully expressed. But you've been changing, growing, becoming someone new, learning to be funny in English, learning to cry in English, building a whole new personality layer.
And when you call your old friends, which happens less and less, there's this weird gap. Because you've changed, and they haven't seen the change. And you try to explain your new life, and it doesn't translate. Not just linguistically, emotionally. Your new experiences don't fit into the old friendship's vocabulary.
You outgrew the frame. The friendship was built for a certain version of you, and you're not that version anymore. But neither of you wants to admit it. So you pretend. And pretending is exhausting. And exhausting friendships die faster than any other kind.
And the word for this, the feeling of having changed beyond what a relationship can hold, is outgrow. I outgrew that friendship. We outgrew each other. It's not a cruel word, it's an honest one. like shoes that don't fit anymore. You loved those shoes, but your feet grew, and the shoes can't grow with you. If that's you, if you're standing in that gap right now, this episode is for you. And this podcast is for you. Because we're trying to build a space where both worlds can meet, where your English life and your emotional life don't have to be separate.
And I want to add, some of you moved to learn English and the friend you left behind doesn't understand why.
Oh, that's real.
They see you posting in English, making English-speaking friends, living this new life, and they feel, maybe they don't say it, but they feel left behind. They feel like you chose English over them, like you chose a new identity over your old one.
And that's not true. You didn't choose English over them. You chose growth. And growth sometimes means distance. Not because you don't love them, because you're becoming someone they haven't met yet.
And the hope, if there is one, is that one day they'll meet the new you and love that version too. But until then, the gap hurts for both of you.
And if you're carrying that guilt, the guilt of leaving, of growing, of becoming someone new while your old friends stay the same, please know that growth is not betrayal. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to learn a new language and build a new life and still love the people you left behind.
I still love you. I just live differently now. That might be the hardest sentence in any language. Word replay. Drift.
To move apart slowly and without decision. We drifted apart over 2 years. Repeat. Drift.
Drift. Overlap.
To share common ground, time, or experiences. Our lives stopped overlapping when she moved. Repeat. Overlap.
Overlap. Grieve.
To feel deep sadness about a loss. I'm still grieving a friendship that faded. Repeat. Grieve.
Grieve. Acquaintance.
Someone you know but aren't close with. He went from best friend to acquaintance. Repeat. Acquaintance.
Acquaintance. Nostalgia.
A warm but sad longing for the past. Old photos fill me with nostalgia. Repeat. Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Outgrow.
To grow beyond what something or someone can offer. We outgrew each other without realizing. Repeat. Outgrow.
Outgrow.
6 words for the friendships we carry, even the ones we've lost.
That's our episode.
If someone came to mind while you listened, someone you haven't called in a while, maybe call them tonight. Not a text, not a comment, a call. Hear their voice. Let them hear yours.
Comments. I'm your name, from country, and the friend I drifted from is Monday through Friday. Bell.
And here's what stays with me from today.
What?
There's no funeral for a friendship that fades, but maybe there should be. Maybe we should honor the friendships that shaped us even after they're gone, not with sadness, with gratitude. Thank you for that chapter. It mattered. You mattered. And even though we're strangers now, you're still part of my story.
You're still part of my story. Yeah. I'm gonna text my friend tonight.
Good. Do it.
Take care of your friendships, the ones you still have. Water them before they fade.
Take care of your journey, every messy, beautiful step of it. This was Real People, Real English.
And to the friend I haven't called, you know who you are. I'm sorry the calls got shorter. I'm sorry the memes stopped. I'm sorry I let us drift. You mattered. You still matter. And this episode is the closest thing I have to saying that out loud.
Henry,
Yeah?
call him.
Yeah, I will. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And please, call someone. Tonight. Before the drift gets wider.